Hang on. Are we live? Yes. We'll start again, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. Guys, listen, the breaking news of the day is the United States Embassy in Tel Aviv has been hit. It's confirmed now it has been hit by an Iranian missile. If we put two and two together, remember when Donald Trump, I think yesterday, I will quote him. President Trump says, the United States will retaliate at levels never seen before if attacked by Iran. Well, it's come out now, ladies and gentlemen, that the US Embassy in Israel, in Tel Aviv, has been struck. I don't know what's going to happen, but we could be looking like a retaliatory strike while we're actually live. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those things that help this channel grow. Whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on TikTok or X. I think we're streaming on X now as well, guys. Listen, I'm in a bit of a rush today. I literally just managed to get in here right on time. I hit TikTok, then I hit the YouTube, so I was on time. But ladies and gentlemen, let's just start. I need to click a few buttons on this screen first to get this up to date. US Embassy. US Embassy, Tel Aviv. Iranian missile damages US Embassy in Tel Aviv. Will Trump respond to Iran damaging the US Embassy? US Embassy in Tel Aviv damaged during Iranian missile strikes. US Embassy in Israel remains closed after Iranian missile strikes. Guys, listen. This was an absolute... listen, guys. All my videos now, everything I do, all the content I make, it's all recorded and it's all public record. Like this morning, guys, what I can't remember the exact wording, what I said, and I've probably done videos about it. What I said is, this is going to happen by accident. You've got too much in that mix now. I did say, and I'm pretty solid about that, I did say I think it's going to come with one of the air-to-air refueling planes. Guys, listen, a lot of you have been sending me links to news articles. Thank you so much for those. So it does look like there are a lot of Western air-to-air refueling aircraft making their way to the Middle East. Now, literally, guys, on Friday, I said this was going to be this is like the Achilles heel of the Israeli military, because they just don't have that air-to-air refueling capacity. And I was watching Sky News, and bless him, the guy, the Air Vice Marshal. When they're talking about these things, guys, look, when I talk about these things, I've lived these things. I know what I'm talking about. I know that logistics, your logistics dictate what you can do. Like, for example, it's all well and good having the world's greatest, bestest, fastest, fittest special forces guys. If they've got no food, no water, and no ammo, they're pretty much useless. Exactly the same goes with aircraft, guys, okay? It's okay having the best, most fastest, most sophisticated F-35s. If you can't get fuel into those engines, they are not working. They're not working, guys. Hang on. Right, I will come on to the comments in a minute, guys. Right, this is the other thing I want to look at here, guys, okay? Right, where are we? Police avoided grooming gang investigations over racism fears. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I grew up in Rotherham in the 90s. I know with 100% certainty that this was happening. Let me just open that door, guys. Because it is really hot in here at the moment. When I built this extension, I made it really well insulated, which is fine, but it gets really hot. Oh. and I'm gonna have to get a bottle of water in a minute. Frankie Gen X is saying U.S. Embassy hit. Yes, let me pin that. So, guys, listen, the United States Embassy in Tel Aviv has been hit. I'm just going off the mainstream now, guys. I'm gonna go with the independent, yeah, right. So I'm reading now from the mainstream, guys. Right, we can't talk about that. Too many bad words in that, right? Yeah. Right, okay, this is right. So I've just clicked on this screen and it's a live update, so it's not giving me right, let me go back. I just need where are we? This one. Right. So this is from The Spectator. Will Trump respond to Iran striking the US Embassy? The US Embassy in Tel Aviv has been damaged by an Iranian ballistic missile, which landed close by, raising the prospect of President Trump retaliating against Iran. So it doesn't look like it was a direct hit on the US Embassy, but you can imagine behind the scenes, there's war makers, there's the military industrial complex, people who are going to make a ton of money. People are going to make a ton of money wanting to get involved, guys, okay? Wanting to get involved. Google is saying they move their nuclear aircraft carrier closer. Kenzie is saying, could this be World War III? Kenzie, my friend, I believe that we are already in World War III. I really do, guys. I believe we're already in. I believe we're already in World War III, guys. I don't think that we can go back now. Listen, guys, that's my opinion. My speculation and my analysis is that we are not going back. Right, a couple of questions on YouTube. AJ Aesthetics over on YouTube is saying this was. I don't think I'm streaming on X, guys, for some reason. Right, I'm gonna have to sort that out. AJ Aesthetics is saying this was inevitable. Everybody strap in, it's about to go off. I mean, it is going off. Barry Payne is saying almost like they're trying to get the United States involved. Barry, are you one of those conspiracy theorists, Barry? Are you one of those conspiracy theorists? Yeah, it does seem like that somebody's trying to get the US involved. Remember, we already know from the Israelis themselves that they've said that they cannot take out the Iranian nuclear facility themselves. So what do we think that means? What do we think that means? Music Remixers is saying, music remixers, what remixes do you do? What remixes do you do? You look like you do synthwave. Do you do synthwave? I hope you do synthwave, music remixers. Hi Raven, you good? Getting worried now with the threats to the United Kingdom. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see the United Kingdom getting involved in this conflict in the Middle East. What's going to happen is this. And this is all recorded, so you can go back and check it out. Remember, when everybody else was saying Trump was going to have peace in the Middle East, when everybody else was saying Trump was going to have a peace deal in Ukraine, I was saying like, no, he didn't. Like, absolutely not. Not going to happen, you know. And just tell me now, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, does it look like Trump's managed to have this world peace, or does it look like it's the world's more volatile now? So the United Kingdom isn't going to get involved in the Middle East. That's going to be dealt with by the United States and Israel, and that will be for the making or the breaking of them. In a week or so, in a couple of weeks, when the airstrikes have got down to a more deliberate rate, which they will, they can't continue this. The Israelis on their own, guys. Two options here. They either break it down to a deliberate rate or the United States get involved. Now, a couple of ways the United States can get involved. Lots of media articles at the moment, guys, talking about the air-to-air refueling tankers, aircraft, that have been sent to the, potentially being sent to the Middle East. Now, key locations, guys, and I feel like I'm going over tropes I've already said, but RAF Akateria, it is key. Regardless, those air-to-air refueling craft, I think there may be a scenario whereby, just hear me out, guys, hear me out, whereby the United States have F-35s protecting the air-to-air refueling. That's what they're there for. But then you see where we're going with this, guys. You see where the mission creep, mission slip lands. So that's one scenario. The other scenario is they don't. They just use them over Saudi Arabia, refuel the aircraft, and and keep it that way. At some point, something American is going to go boom, guys. At some point, something American is going to go boom. So what you will see is this conflict draw down on its pace. The pace will, right now, guys, it is so intense. Look, guys, have you seen the guy playing saxophone? In fact, music remixers, have you seen the guy playing saxophone on the rooftop bar? I mean, that has to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, honestly, that is so 2025. But right, so I don't see any Iranian threat to the United Kingdom because the United Kingdom are not going to get involved, guys. The United Kingdom are not going to get involved. There's nothing as the United Kingdom, there's nothing we can bring to this party. But don't worry, because we are going to be getting involved in Eastern Europe. We are going to be getting involved in Ukraine. That is a green for go, ladies and gentlemen. So after a couple of weeks of this Iran-Israel thing, it's going to die down, and then the media will be back to Ukraine. The Russians will either make massive ground advances, they will use Orshnik, there'll be another battlefield advancement. And at that point, it will just escalate further and further. Once those two conflicts are up and running, you're either going to see Pakistan and India or China and potentially Taiwan. That's the way we're going, ladies and gentlemen, right now. And I checked the fuel prices at the pump earlier. Guys, listen, I genuinely don't know how those prices are still like relatively low in comparison. Music remixers is just saying there over on YouTube. He saw the saxophone guy. He saw the saxophone. Guys, listen, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's this guy blasting out a monster mammoth riff on the saxophone, right, on a rooftop bar in Lebanon somewhere, and these missiles are going over, and I'm like, wow. That is like the most that is like so 2025. It is unbelievable. Anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to jump onto your comments on TikTok, but I do want to keep going back to this, ladies and gentlemen. The US Embassy, mainstream media, I have to say that, are reporting that the US Embassy in Tel Aviv has been, it's official, it has been damaged, it's been struck by a missile from Tehran. Now, this wasn't targeted, but still, it has been, it has been struck. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the chat open, so the comments are going absolutely bonkers. I'm just going to come down to the bottom. Just digging it, Wales is saying, hang on, let me pin this. Just digging it, Wales is saying, Raven, there was an RAF refueler flying over Iraq earlier, came from Cyprus along the Jordanian route. Yeah, so there we go, guys, okay? If it came from Cyprus, it came from RAF Akateria. That's where they're stationed. That's where, actually, I don't know where they're stationed. I would speculate if it came from Cyprus, that's where it had to come from. So it will have come from Cyprus, over Jordan. It must have come over Israel as well. And like just digging it in, Wales is saying it was seen flying over Iraq. Now, where is that information coming from? Like, who saw it flying over? Like, and has that been confirmed? I'm not saying it's not. What I would say is that the logical place to have those refueling aircraft, the logical place, guys, it's over Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a relatively friendly country. You know the relationship between Donald Trump and what's his name, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They have a good relationship. Remember, you know how they have these phone calls? I would speculate, and again, I've said this many times, I would speculate that in those phone calls, Donald Trump said, "Hey, buddy, if you let me use your airspace help the Israelis. I'll make sure they take out your competition with the oil industry. And then he probably said, okay, Donald, that is no problem. That's Putin, isn't it? He probably said, okay, Donald, that is no. I can't do that. I can't do the Saudi Arabian accent. But you see where I'm going, guys. You see where I'm going with this, okay? It's a big game. It's a game of chess. And people right now, ladies and gentlemen, will be making a ton of money. Right, guys, there's so many comments poking up. I'm going to jump down again and get the most recent comments on TikTok. Mark Hardman is saying, let's all kiss our something goodbye. Googly, thoughts on Pakistan threatening Israel. I didn't realize they had. Let me check this out, Googly. Let me check this out. So I'm just checking out Pakistan threatens Israel. So right, guys, so I'm reading this now from the Economic Times. I'm just reading in the headline, guys. Googly, one of the commenters on TikTok's put me onto this. Israel-Iran war update. Pakistan to nuke Israel, ? Top Iranian commander unveils shocking plan. A senior Iranian military official has revealed that Pakistan might launch... Right, my personal opinion reading this, guys, is... I struggle to see the credibility on it, but I'll continue. Because who are they saying? A senior military official? Like who? Like who is that? Like what's their name? What's their name? What's their role? What, it could have been like, I could pretend to be a senior military official and just tell just pretend. A senior military official said, yeah, guys, look, I see that as a non-story right now from what I'm reading. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I see that as a non-story, guys, just on the surface. I do see that as a non-story, but it may have truth. There may be a kernel of truth in it. I don't know. But as I'm looking here now, guys, I see that as a non-story. Right, big comment here from Matt Alexander over on YouTube. Guys, thank you for all the comments that you guys are throwing through. Listen, I do this live so you guys know that I'm not regurgitating someone else's content. I do it live. I answer your questions in real time so that... Hang on. Right, I do this in real time, guys, so I can answer your questions in real time, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. Because if I answer your questions in real time, I don't know what questions are coming. I can't research these things. But anyway, so the question is, hi Raven, could the fact Trump hasn't done anything about Putin failing to release the prisoners when the 2 weeks were up be confirmation that Trump will stay out of Ukraine and Putin out of Iran? Matt Alexander, yes, I would say there are a lot more markers to that as well. I'd say there's a lot more markers to that. So a couple of things that Matt's commenting on there. So remember when Donald Trump said, he's given Putin 2 weeks to have a ceasefire or get a deal done or something. Like that 2 weeks. I mean, that he said that on the 28th of May. So Donald Trump gave Putin 2 weeks on the 28th of May, which has well elapsed by now. So could it be, now I'm just thinking out loud, guys, could it be that Trump knew that this problem in the Middle East would have erupted by then and nobody would really care? Look, guys, I think Matt Alexander is 100% right. I think behind closed doors, they've had an agreement whereby the United States pulls out of Eastern Europe, and the Russians don't get involved in the Middle East. That's what I think's happening. Remember, guys, okay, I've been saying this since 2023. The United Kingdom and the United States are going to have a divergence where the United States is going to focus in the Middle East. The United Kingdom is going to take the lead role in Ukraine. That is happening now, guys. Can you see it now happening? So yeah, you are 100% right, Matt Alexander over on YouTube. Clarissa Roberts, right, guys. I will always take priority over these questions. Clarissa Roberts over on YouTube is saying, "Sorry, Raven, late. Should we be worried?" Not about, right. If you live in the United Kingdom, you shouldn't really be worried about what's happening in the Middle East because people in the United Kingdom are just not going to get involved, guys. I don't care. I don't care what people are saying on the mainstream media. I go back through my videos, okay? When I'm saying things and I'm going well against what the mainstream media are saying. The United Kingdom isn't going to get involved actively in this conflict in the Middle East, guys. They're not going to. The United Kingdom will, I believe, will get involved in this Eastern Europe conflict in Ukraine. Just logistically, it makes no sense for the United Kingdom to get involved. I mean, what can the United Kingdom contribute when you look at the size and the might and the power of the United States? And I'm saying that as a Brit, guys, you know, as someone who's vastly, maybe even helplessly patriotic. The United States have the biggest military. They have the baddest military. You cannot attack the United States. It's impossible. They don't need anybody to help. They don't need anybody to help. I'd say the same things I've always been saying, ladies and gentlemen. The real threat, and this is my opinion, the real threat to the United Kingdom comes in the form of substations being set on fire. Today we had, what did we have today in, was it in Durham? In Durham today, there was some pro-Palestine guys, and they took over an a weapons production factory. That is the sort of stuff that you would likely see moving forward. Substations, water, gas, electricity. Those are the things that I feel are under that are very vulnerable. Oh, and Kenzie, hang on. Kenzie McClelland is saying, is saying, do you see the United States responding to the attack on the embassy tonight? I'm not 100% on this. The two ways you could look at it is, I think there's going to be my personal opinion would be there will be in the future a bigger event where where the United States can quite justifiably get involved. I'm not convinced that this hit on the embassy would get public support behind a potential US involvement in this conflict in the Middle East. Right, let me jump on some comments, guys. Some comments over from TikTok. Anonymous, US talks too much. They haven't won a war in 50 years. I think that's unfair, guys. I think that's unfair to say that to the United States. Okay, so what? Look, guys. How do I put this? Like, you know when when somebody's undefeated, like John Jones, prime John. In fact, you know what? Who else could kind of think of? Probably like John Jones, guys. Prime John Jones. He was undefeatable. If you guys don't know who John Jones is, he was the light heavyweight. He was the light heavyweight UFC champion. He moved up to heavyweight. Like John Jones in his prime was absolutely undefeatable. And people who say that the United States haven't, and it's like saying John Jones hasn't won a real fight. Well, because nobody can give them a real fight. The United States, guys, look, they have all the air power. They have all the naval power. They have all the land forces. They have all the logistics. And their home base, the United States, it's absolutely unreachable. Like, how are you going to attack the United States? Guys, if anybody's got some ideas how you're going to attack, like an attack from the United States has to come from within. It has to happen through subversion. And if we look at the 4 phases of subversion, demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and normalization, that is how you would have to take out the United States. No military is going to challenge the United States for what? For at least 100 years, guys, and that's the reality. Right, I'm just going to jump down and get these. Right, Jacqueline. Jacqueline is saying, "Will Turkey get involved, Raven?" In fact, where? Right. Okay. Right. Right. So Jacqueline. Right. The chat's just gone bonkers. Right. Let me just pin this. So okay. So I've always said from like way back. Can you remember, guys, when I was doing videos and I had about 3 followers, and I was saying about this diversions, the United States, and I was talking about it. The 2 countries I always said that are the that are going to be the linchpins, basically, is Turkey and India. Well, right now with the conflict, well, with the previous, well, the hostilities between Pakistan and India, with Pakistan coming out in support of Iran, it does look like India would be a de facto Western ally. Now, Turkey. It's still a wild card, guys. Turkey is still a wild card. Turkey's a member of NATO. They are in a strategic location, but it's also predominantly a Muslim country. So the reality is, guys, when we're talking about Turkey, I've always said it's a wild card. It could go one way, it could go the other way. Will Turkey be involved? Inevitably, at some point. What will their involvement be? I couldn't tell you, guys. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, I don't even have a coin. Flip a coin, because that is about as good as anyone's analysis can get. Right, let me jump down. There is a US Army base in Turkey. No chance they'd side with Iran, says Harvey Ellis. Look, guys, there's several US military bases in Iraq. You could give the same argument. If Turkey want to side with Iran, they will side with Iran. That is the reality, guys. Okay. US senators introduce war powers to stop the US being involved in this conflict. JRB Juniors is saying Iran are prepping for the most attacks on Israel. It's on the news now. Guys, look, this, yeah. So so when we're gearing up now, and when we're looking at Iran, Israel, and we're looking at a firepower, we're looking at a strength analysis, basically, between Israel and Iran. The Israelis, their ace in the hole is the air power. They have far superior air power. I think they roll with F-15s, F-16s, and F-35s. I think they're rolling with those. I mean, they're fantastic aircraft, guys. You know, really good aircraft. Like I said on Friday, the problem with those aircraft is the servicing. Now, the Iranians, their aircraft, their air force is obsolete, guys. You know, you might as well not even consider they have an air force. But they do have numbers in Shahed drones. They have manufacturing capacity. Now and then they have a lot of missiles. Now, those missiles, guys, I'm not sure how many they have and how much rocket fuel they have to service those missiles as well. I've heard lots of numbers between 2,000 to 3,000. I don't know, but what we can say is it's a lot. So initially, I think and again, guys, look, when we're talking about these 2 nations, none of these 2 nations can have boots on the ground and attack each other. It's just off the cards, guys. You don't have the cards, Israel. You don't have the Benjamin. You don't have the cards, and Ayatollah, you don't have the cards either. So, like, neither country have the cards to send troops, but they do. They can fire a lot of things over the sky at each other. Anonymous is saying NATO are in trouble if Turkey leaves two most powerful armies in NATO. Yeah, guys, depends what you mean by powerful army, but I do think anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that NATO is over. It's done. It's finished. NATO, ladies and gentlemen, is not worth the paper that it was written on. Right now, guys, NATO is not worth the paper it's written on. Article 5 of the NATO Memorandum of... Sorry, guys. NATO Article 5, which states... And again, guys, look. When I used to be in those circles and I used to talk to people, like as an advisor, you know, I would say, look, this is coming. And you would get these, you know, these guys who wear suits with an Oxbridge accent. And I'd say, yeah, they're going to attack them. And they'd say, absolutely not. That would be a NATO Article 5 issue. And I'd be like, have you actually read what you're saying, mate? Yes. An attack on one member state is deemed an attack on all member states. I'm like, yeah, that's the first sentence. Have you read the rest of the paragraph and how it negates the first bit? Because everybody thinks that they say NATO Article 5 is some sort of like, you know, magical shield that protects us all from badness. It doesn't protect anyone from anything. NATO Article 5, guys, it's not worth the paper it's written on. Really, it's not. Clarissa Roberts is saying, would you go abroad, i.e. Cyprus or Egypt? First of all, why would you want to leave the United Kingdom when we have fantastic beauty spots in Devon, in Cornwall? Like, why would you want to leave the United Kingdom and go to another country? Cyprus, an absolute niet spasiba chuvak. That's no thank you, dude, in Russian. No, I would not go to Cyprus, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Not because of the fear of like missiles coming over or something to Cyprus, because if anything went over to Cyprus, it'd be on that southern tip, RAF Akateria. I would say I would not want to go on holiday to those places because I do think that whole Middle Eastern region, I think very soon they're going to close all the airspace. So you can imagine, and guys, look, this has happened to me before when I've been trying to get out of Baghdad. You could have a scenario where you go to Cyprus on holiday, you land, Ayinapa, you're dancing away, it's fantastic, and then the next thing, all the airspace is closed, and you're like, oh, right, all right, well, that's all right then, isn't it? Yeah. And again, it's all on you guys. I wouldn't be thinking about not traveling to these places because I'd be scared of stuff coming in. I'd be more worried about the airspace. I would be more worried about the airspace being closed. But guys, listen, if you want to take some Raven advice, a little bit of Raven holiday advice, get yourself some travel insurance. Make sure on that travel insurance, they will pay for your food and accommodation while you're stuck. And then you get yourselves a free holiday. Don't worry, guys. Top Raven holiday tips. I'm here all day. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Matt Alexander says, isn't Iran... Hang on. Matt Alexander says, isn't Iran struggling within? I believe 60% of mosques have been shut down. Yeah, I think, yeah, I wouldn't be able to comment on the percentage of that, but I know I've seen from open source social media, there are a lot of people in Iran who don't like the regime in Iran. And again, let's not delude ourselves. There will be a lot of money being pumped into that region. There will be a lot of propaganda, a lot of Western bot farms pumping propaganda into that region. Right, guys, the comments are going absolutely bonkers, guys, okay? I have got the chat open on TikTok, so I do apologize if I'm missing anyone's comments. That's why we do the subscribers only chat, guys, okay? Keisha, do you think Croatia is over? I don't know. Am I a holiday rep now? Am I a holiday rep? Do I need to have some, like, you know what? I've got my holiday rep get glasses on, and that's it now, guys. I'm just advising people on holidays. Would I go to Croatia? No, I wouldn't go to Croatia. Get yourself to Devon, get yourself to Cornwall, get yourself on that south coast, guys, all right? Get yourself the south coast of the United Kingdom. It is beautiful. It is beautiful on the south coast of the United Kingdom. Right, yeah, Dino. So, guys, listen, the breaking news and what I want to focus on today is reports from Tel Aviv that the U.S. Embassy has been struck. The U.S. Embassy has been struck by a ballistic missile from Iran. Now, I don't know what the retaliation is going to be, if any, but you can see this direction of travel now, guys, can't you? You can see this direction of travel. Right, ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm just going to update the news now because this is a really dynamic situation. What do we mean by dynamic, ladies and gentlemen? Those guys who follow my channel, dynamic means I'm not really sure what's happening. Right, where are we? Right, that's this one. I swear I'm getting eaten in here, guys. It's like being in the jungle. What was I doing? Breaking news at Israel. Oh, there's a pigeon on my roof as well. Right. Right, I'm just going to give you these updates, guys. I'm going to give you some live updates from Israel, Iran live. Israel strikes Iranian state media studio during live broadcast. I mean, fair play to him. Netanyahu won't rule out transcending the supreme leader to a beam of light. Hang on, right, I'm going to play this video. I hope, hang on. Right, guys, so I'm going to play this video now, okay? It's a 30-second video, and apparently it shows the moment when the Iranian state media is hit by a strike. So I'm just going to play it to you. I don't know what we're going to find. Honestly, guys, I have to stop that there because I can remember when I used to live in Baghdad and I used to watch the TV. It was always like this. It was always like this. And it just, oh, guys, honestly, anyway. But in fairness to her, she's been very aggressive. All right, so there's a phrase that comes to mind here, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster stuff. So Iranian state media has been. Can you imagine the effect that that's having on the Iranians, guys? The effect that that's having on the Iranians. They're there, the Iranians are watching Iranian state media, and then the media presenters saying, "We will not surrender. We are going to strike fear into the hearts of these." And then, whoa! Can you imagine? Right, I'm just going to get some live updates, ladies and gentlemen. Right, guys. Hang on. Literally everything I've said. Right, guys, in the last 40 minutes, everything I've said about this conflict on Friday has been confirmed. All right, everything in the last 40 minutes. So I'm just going to read you these three and then I'll come back to them, okay? So U.S. aircraft carrier heads to Middle East as refueling planes sent to Europe, officials say. So we've spoken about that. Fighter jet destroyed Iran and Israel both say they have destroyed fighter jets today. Iranian air defenses shot down an F-35 fighter jet, Iranian state media reports. The plane was shot down in Tabriz, now News said. Meanwhile, the Israeli Air Force says it attacked a pair of F-14 jets at an airport in Tehran. Guys, listen, I'll come on to these afterwards. And then we've got Dominic Waghorn saying Israel's war against Iran is a gamble, and to pay off it can't afford to miss. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. Do not worry. Everybody calm down. David Lammy's made a speech, guys. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, David Lammy's in the room. It's all going to be calmed down. It's all going to be sorted, ladies and gentlemen. David Lammy's here. He's turned up. He's taking his trainers off. He's put his shoes on, and he's saying, I got this, bro. I got you, bro. He's turned up, and his sentence probably started as a black man. Right. Lammy tells Israel to step back ahead of call with the Iranian foreign minister. That's it then, guys. That is it. David Lammy has told Israel to step back, so forget about it, guys. The conflict's over. I was wrong. You guys were wrong thinking it was all starting. David Lammy has told Israel to step back, so that's it, guys. It's, we best all, I don't know, all sing Kumbaya and, like, have a campfire or something. Honestly, can you guys, okay, so one of the reasons I stayed in my previous career so long, and I got places I probably shouldn't have, is because I got on with people. I get on with everyone. I literally get on with everybody, guys. And one of the things about diplomacy, if you don't get on with a foreign leader, you're not going to be able to talk to him. He won't talk to you. You won't be able to build that rapport. Now, if you guys remember when David Lammy went out to Israel to have a meeting with everyone, they didn't even talk to him, guys. The Israelis left, and look, guys, I'm certainly not criticizing the Israelis. I'd probably leave him in the waiting room as well. But they left David Lammy in the foyer and they wouldn't talk to him. Remember, this is David Lammy, who's previously called for Netanyahu to be arrested. So anyway, I'm just going to read this, ladies and gentlemen, because I do love reading about David Lammy. Foreign Secretary David Lammy has called on Israel to show restraint and warned military action will not end Iran's nuclear capability. Do you know what, guys? I would like to take that bet. In fact, I would like to take that bet that military action is the only way to end that capability. And whether you agree with that, right or wrong, I'll accept your arguments, but the military option is the only option right now. He said he will speak with the Iranian foreign minister alongside their counterparts from France and Germany this evening. The three countries are party to the 2015 nuclear accord with Iran, and last week put forward a resolution declaring Iran in breach of its non-proliferation obligations. Lammy told MPs in the House of Commons that diplomacy was the way forward. Do you know what, guys? I'm all for diplomacy, but diplomacy means nothing if you can't back it up with a big stick. Fundamentally, no military action can put an end to Iran's capabilities. God, honestly, guys, when you look at somebody in power and you just think, how have you got there? How have you got there? It fascinates me. With Iran being a main oil producer and vast amount of the world's trade flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. Guys, look, how many times have I warned people about what's happening there and that little stretch of land? water, sorry. An escalating conflict poses the risk for the global economy. Yeah, it does. To that end, government's message to Israel and Iran is step back, show restraint, don't get pulled even deeper into a catastrophic conflict whose consequences nobody can control. All at the same time, we've got like... yeah, I just love it, guys, when David Lammy makes a speech. Right, John Anderson over on YouTube is saying, I would imagine that Israel used 35% of the jets would be F-15s, F-15Es, 20% F-16s, and 35%. And the F-35 would make up 15% of the total force. And the F-35 would be the first ones during the strike. Guys, look, when it comes to aviation, aviation tactics, bombing tactics, I'm not the best person to speak to. My expertise are ground warfare, land war, basically. I do know that everything, like everything though, you know, your logistics is always your linchpin. It's always your weakest, you know, it's always your weakest link. Right, right, Rian G saying I'm a bit late. Can I have a recap of what's happening? Oh, I don't even know what's happening myself because the situation is dynamic. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, the crux of this live stream is the United States Embassy has been hit by an Iranian missile. Now, I'm still trying to get the update on that. I don't think many people are talking about it, so I don't think it's as big. I don't think it's as big a deal as people initially made out, and I don't think things are going to get acted on it. If we were to see things on the if we were to, oh, hang on. If we were to see things on the mainstream by, you know, like saying, you know, lots of media coverage of this, then you could see the direction where it's going. Because, guys, listen, let's be real. Let me be real for you in a minute. Let's be real, guys. Okay. The media is owned by the government. So when the media start pumping something out, that's when you understand that that something is coming. Right. Just let me read this quickly, guys. I'm just seeing this for the first time, guys. I'm going to read this out loud. I've not read it. I'm going to read it in real time and we'll comment together. Trump says he hopes Israel and Iran can agree ceasefire. Fair. Although I think behind the scenes, he's like, yeah, whatever. Donald Trump has said he hopes Israel and Iran can broker a ceasefire. Note he's not getting involved there, how he says he's not going to sort that out. But said, sometimes countries have to fight it out first. Wow. I mean, yeah, so there you go, guys. So Donald Trump is saying maybe they've got to fight it out, and it does look like they are fighting it out. But right, guys, listen, I do want to keep coming back to the gangs in the United Kingdom, the gangs that have been terrorizing, like, the United Kingdom. Police avoided gangs investigation over racism fears. Guys, look, I believe, and it's my speculation, that the West, people in the United Kingdom, have had their head in the sand when it comes to these gangs, ladies and gentlemen. I did a video, I can't remember when it was. I did a video a couple of days ago, and a girl aged 10 was identified as a, how do I use this word without getting this live banned, was a courtesan at the age 10. Now, guys, look, we've got little girls, you know, they're 11 and 12. They used to be 10. And at 10 years old, like, I'm thinking about this now, guys, and thinking about our girls at 10. It beggars belief, and like the questions, and everybody's rightly outraged at that. But the bigger questions for me are, when that label was given to that 10-year-old girl, first of all, who said, like, legally, the age of consent in the United Kingdom is 16, okay? So anything under 16, it's a word that begins with R and ends in PE. That's the law, guys. There's no argument there. That is the law. So that person who wrote that report and handed it in, what's their name? I'd like to say to them, right, why did you think that? Why did you think that this girl at 10 years old was doing that? And then that supervisor who got the report, and again, I'm assuming it was in a report because it's on mainstream media and that's the only way they'd be able to report on it. At what point did that supervisor look and say, yeah, I like your report, Chloe, or whatever. Yeah, it seems all in order that. Yeah, fine. And then, like, at what point, and then her supervisor or his supervisor, at what point when the, like, monthly or yearly audits happen, at what point didn't somebody read through that and say, Janet, come in here a minute, love. Is that a typo there where you've got this girl aged 10? No, that's right, yeah, she's 10-year-old. And did the supervisor not say, yeah, Janet, just a quick one here. Look, if we Google legal age of consent in the UK, look, this says 16, so anything younger than 16, it needs investigation. Like, why didn't that happen? Like, honestly, guys, because all these people's names will be documented. They'll be on pieces of paper, what they've signed off, and it's all there. I was watching, guys, listen, I'm going to call it right now. I am calling it right now. Protect Dominic Cummings at all costs. Guys, protect Dominic Cummings at all costs. Because I can see some Dominic Cummings getting in a car crash very soon. Dominic Cummings, guys, look. People don't like Dominic Cummings. I get it. People don't like Dominic Cummings. I get it. But I've been in those scenarios where I've been with, and I've rubbed shoulders with people like Dominic Cummings, people who are vastly intelligent, who know what's happening, who work behind the scenes, and who tell people what to do. The problem is, Dominic Cummings, he has like this appearance, and he's like a bit of he looks a bit of a chav, doesn't he? And if he had a suit and an Oxbridge accent, and he was from a trendy part of London, he would have a lot more weight. But as an advisor, that's what advisors do. They work behind the scenes and they tell people what's happening. Now, I used to be an advisor, guys. I used to be a governmental advisor, and it's very difficult when they don't take your advice. And like, guys, look at my videos. Look back through my videos. All the stuff I say, it's open source now. It's public record. Like, let me know. Do I know what's happening? Do I know what's coming? Yeah, of course I do. And I used to advise governments, but they never used to listen. I'd tell them what would happen in about 30 seconds. I'd say, right, guys, that country's going to invade that country. They're going to do that. If you don't do this, this is going to happen. And then I'd want to talk about aliens and stuff. And, and it is what it is. But, like, this is the problem that we have in this country, guys. Protect Dominic Cummings at all costs, guys, okay? He did an interview earlier where he was saying that people from Rotherham Council tried to silence Michael Gove and tried to take Michael Gove to court so he couldn't release some information. So as the story goes, guys, Dominic Cummings said to Michael Gove, he said, right, well, that's not right, is it? And in credit to Michael Gove said, yeah, we're not having this. And Michael Gove actually took Rotherham Council to court and said, look, we're going to release this and you need to release this information. And I think that's why Rotherham was the first one to break. Guys, look, it doesn't matter. The situation is, we have an epidemic situation in the United Kingdom. And I would speculate, if people don't pull their socks up, this could be a global thing, because we only know what's happening in the United Kingdom. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, right. Right, guys, let me just get some of more of this breaking news that's happening. In fact, do you know what, guys? I'm going to try and find the speech on X. I'm going to try and find, I've still got Keir Starmer's picture up. Right, guys, I'm just going to jump on X quickly. Dominic. Guys, I'm just going down here now to look. Oh, I spelled Dominic wrong. Right, so look, guys, people are trying to throw dirt now on Dominic Cummings. You've got to understand that oh, hang on, I think it's here. Right, I think I've got it, guys. I think I've got this.
And did you report these people? Should they? You said in your speech that you witnessed cover-ups of the rape gangs. Now,
So, guys, listen, we are listening right now to an interview with Dominic Cummings. It's just a short interview. It's a short interview. I'm going to play this, guys, and then we're going to come back to the global conflict, okay?
Well, that was fascinating. Can you talk?
While we're listening to this, I'm just going to get a drink of water.
About what you saw, what happened, did you report these people? Should they, be prosecuted for covering up these terrible crimes? Can you expand on what you said? So obviously all over Whitehall there was mass cover-ups of the whole thing for the same reason you've already alluded to. Fear of the political consequences of facing reality. What I saw in 2011, there are lots of different things. Normally Whitehall, the cliche that it's a cock-up, not a conspiracy is generally true. The one big exception I would say is regarding child abuse, where there are actually multiple conspiracies constantly. And
are you listening to this, guys? Are you actually listening to the words here that are being spoken right now? This is, and I get it, guys, all right? When people say corruption and conspiracy, 9 times out of 10, it's a cock-up. Somebody's made a mistake and somebody's trying to cover their backs. Dominic Cummings is saying, no, this is not a cock-up. This is a conspiracy, guys.
Be successful. I watched this happening repeatedly in the Department of Education because the issue was parked there by Gordon Brown and Balls, so I had to deal with it when I was there. I would watch the redacted documents and the actual unredacted documents about lots of these cases, and you can see that the redacted documents are redacted entirely to hide the incompetence of the system.
So he's saying there, Dominic Cummings, is that the government are redacting documents to protect their own incompetence in dealing with this.
Now, what happened on the gangs is that when Andrew Norfolk at the time started to try to report the issue, the council went to officials inside the Department of Education and said, we want to bring a judicial...
So what he's talking about now, guys, is Rotherham. I believe he's talking about Rotherham Council, guys, now. And this is where the grooming gangs first broke. Guys, listen, just listen to this because it's bonkers.
You to have the courts suppress the Times' reporting and not allow it to happen. Some of the officials inside the DfE who routinely organised cover-ups on such issues were, of course, very in favour of it. But there were another set of officials inside DfE who agreed with me that this was absolutely appalling, and in fact we should do the opposite. So what we ended up doing was saying to Michael Gove, you should write to the council and say that if you bring the judicial review, we will actually appear in court on behalf of the Times, not on behalf of you. That obviously blew up the judicial review attempt by the council to keep it secret, and then Norfolk could publish his piece in the Times.
Can you conceptualize this now, guys? Just conceptualize this now, right? Just honestly, guys, because this blows my mind every time. There's young girls, this sort of stuff's happening to young girls, and we've got counsellors actively trying to cover it up. Just say that to yourselves, guys. Just literally say that to yourselves. Like, and try and make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense to me. Like, if I found out about that, I'm one of those people, right, who would I'd destroy my own company if it was bad, if it was going bad. It would all go. And you've got people here actively trying to advocate. Have they got how do they go to sleep at night? How do they when they go to bed at night and they know all these things that were happening? Witchy Lab, thank you for your subscription. Thank you so much, guys, to all you guys subscribing. Thank you so much. Like when these people go to bed, and guys, look, I grew up in Rotherham, and I can tell you this, it wasn't just happening to the girls, all right? It wasn't just happening to the girls. But do these people not look at themselves in the mirror and think, I need to do something about this? And guys, look, as a litmus thing, I always tell people this, like, you know, people want to be rich, people want to have a yacht, people want to have a DA62, you know, people want to have all sorts of stuff. People ask me, Sean, what do you want in life? And do you know what I think you guys, what everybody really wants? To look in the mirror and ask yourself, would your 11-year-old self be proud of the person you've become? Think about that for a minute, guys. Think about that. Would 11-year-old you be proud of the you are now? And if the answer is no, you probably need to change something. If the answer is yes, then you're winning at life, guys. You are winning at life. But anyway, let me continue with this, guys. Let me continue.
Unfortunately, I think you often died recently without even knowing that that even happened. But that's just one small example of something which happened many times on this subject of a few decades in Whitehall, which is, of course, why the system is absolutely desperate not to have inquiry. A system which has inquiries at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, he's saying there, this system, like the government, like, can you remember how they had an inquiry? Did Boris Johnson have cake at a party, or was it a party with cake, or was it drinks with a cake? They had an inquiry into that, but they won't have an inquiry into like thousands, maybe even more of our girls and boys.
Like one person dies, public inquiry, spend 80 million quid on lawyers, take 5 years. This case involving thousands and thousands and thousands of children? No.
It just, to me, it seems bizarre there's no accountability to the people that you're talking about. I mean,
it's only bizarre if you believe the old ideas about how the system works. It's not bizarre once you realise that the people there are not operating on the incentives or with the values that you think they are. It's actually completely standard and completely normal and completely unsurprising.
Okay.
So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Protect Dominic Cummings at all costs. I think he may drive into a wall or something. He may drive into a wall. Something may happen, you know, or he may fall off a bridge. He may drive into a wall. Protect Dominic Cummings at all costs, guys, because he has got some information. Right, I'm just going to jump on these. I'm just going to jump on these. Going to jump on these comments. Just watch the Tommy Robinson interview with Patrick Bet-David on your YouTube. Really good. Yeah, I didn't really like Patrick Bet-David at first, but I think I like him now. I like him now. Yeah, thank you so much, Witchy Lab. Thank you so much, Witchy Lab, for your subscription. And guys, look, to all the subscribers who subscribe, thank you so much. I'm talking about the TikTok subscribers now. The reason we have to do subscribers videos, it's not because we're trying to, and it's not, guys, it's not because I'm trying to hide information from anyone. It's because some of the information I put out, it's very sensitive. Like the other night when everything was happening, I put a video out. The video got banned. I had to re-upload it. Excuse me. I had to re-upload it as a subscribers video because the because the algorithm doesn't put the checks and balances through when it's a subscribers video. Keston Keston Bayraktar, that is a fantastic second name. Do you have involvement in Bayraktar drones? Do you have involvement with Bayraktar drones? Keaston, have you seen Lockheed Martin stocks have gone down? Yeah, and they will go down. They will go down because they're touting this. They're touting this F-35 as the F-35. It's invincible. It can't get taken down. It's impossible to strike down. But there's a lot of mainstream media. Excuse me. But there's a lot of mainstream medias. There's a lot of mainstream media talking now. There's a lot of mainstream media talking about F-35s being shot down over Iran. If this is true, guys, and I don't know if it is, but if this is true, this is just gonna kick the face out of all this stealth technology. Look, guys, I'm not a particular fan of stealth technology because I don't believe there's such thing as stealth. Even what they talk about with stealth. So there's active radar. Hang on. So there's two types of radar. So when you're looking at your air defense, guys, there's two types of radar. There's like your scanning radar, which would be your, your like wide spectrum radar, and then there's your targeting radar. Now, the targeting radar, if that doesn't know where to look more or less exactly, it can't really lock on. The wide broad spectrum radar that scans the whole sky, that's the one who says, oh, right, I think there's something over there. And then the smaller radar will lock onto it. Now, the way that stealth works, my understanding of this, the way that stealth works, the wide spectrum radar, they can see these aircraft on the wide spectrum radar. The problem is the stealth doesn't allow the targeting radar to lock onto them. But there's a lot of problems with this stealth, guys. If you go very, very fast, the stealth paint will crumble and it'll come off and it'll leave you without your stealth coating, because stealth, guys, it's a covering, and the faster your aircraft goes, that stealth paint can flake off and then it leaves you vulnerable. Right, Google it is saying, right, so we've got two here, so we've got James and, right, okay, Pav Builds, right, okay, Pav Builds, I'm going to pin this. Yes, Pav Builds, it is official, there are mainstream media reports that mainstream media are reporting that the US Embassy in Tel Aviv has been hit, guys. That's there. It's out there. People are talking about it. People are talking about this. Now, I don't think it was a targeted strike on the embassy. I think it was a fall shot or a drop shot or something, or an overshot. But the US Embassy in Tel Aviv has been hit by a ballistic missile. It's been damaged. The mainstream media are very quiet about it, which leads me to believe that not much action is going to be taken about it. But yes, it is there, guys, and it is happening. Right, let me just, US Embassy. Right, so headlines here, guys, from the US, from the mainstream. Will Trump respond to Iran damaging the US Embassy? They're changing the tone now. US Embassy in Tel Aviv hit with Iranian missile. Yeah, so it is there, guys. It's on the mainstream. Right, let me Google. Right. James is saying, is Iran threatening to do its biggest attack tonight? I believe so, James. I believe that's what I've heard. But look, guys, the fog of war, dynamic situations, nobody really knows what's happening. There's smoke, there's mirrors, there's misinformation, there's disinformation, there's counter-information, there's bot farms, there's social media, there's AI. It really is, guys. It's literally the definition of a dynamic situation. But I hope I've answered that question for you, Pav Bill. Google is saying Iran has launched a new attack on Israel. Right, let me check this out. I can't find anything there, Google it. I can't find anything there, Google it. I can't find anything there on that. I can't find anything whereby Iran has... Oh, hang on. No, I can't find any updates that Iran have launched a new attack, guys. I can't find Iran have launched Iran have not launched a new attack. It's on X now. Right, let me have a little swizzle over on X. I'll do that one. All right, so guys, listen, I don't know if this is right. Okay, so this is from 27 minutes ago, okay? I don't know if this is true. I have to caveat that. I have to say that because unless something is collaborated with mainstream media, I cannot say it, guys, okay? But there are reports from a couple of minutes ago saying that Iran is launching a new attack on Israel. Again, guys, listen, I need to be clear. I don't know if this is real, or I don't know if this is real. Yeah, I don't know if this is real, guys. It may be real, it may not. But what we've got to understand is the stockpiling of the Iranian missiles, stockpiling of Iranian missiles is it has been going on for a long time, and I would speculate that the Iranians have been planning for this, to fight this sort of war. So have the Israelis, guys. Okay, remember, both militaries, both ground forces, sorry, both armies. I don't see any scenario without the United States getting involved. I don't. Oh, hang on. Check BBC Live. So I've got 38 minutes ago. Debris fall in Iranian TV. No, right, guys. Can somebody, guys, can you set me onto this, guys? Can you set me onto this, because I'm looking at, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information, guys, on here, and it's very difficult while I'm on the live stream doing two channels, and I think maybe even 3 channels. David O'Rourke is saying that more people have. Oh, hang on. Junior Rogers here over on YouTube is saying, do you think this is gonna send it out of control and set off a chain reaction and drag us into war? By us, do you mean us, the United Kingdom, or do you mean us, America? Well, I'll answer for both. For America, yes. For Great Britain, no. America, I do think they have shown their I do think they've shown their, they put their, I've shown you my cards. You want to see my cards? I've got the best cards. Nobody's ever got the cards like me. I've got 5 aces, and nobody else has ever had 5 aces. And they say, Danny, how'd you get 5 aces? I say, I got 2 aces of spades, and I always keep them up my sleeves. So, the Americans have come out and they've shown that they're going to support Israel. The United Kingdom, they're not going to get involved in this, but the United Kingdom are already involved in what's happening in Europe. Right, guys, there's quite a lot of comments on YouTube. Right, guys, lots of people now saying, about this this attack that Israel are launching. I'm just going to have a look now, guys, on Al Jazeera, because Al Jazeera seem to have a better handle on that. Right, I'm not finding it on the mainstream, guys. I am not finding it on the mainstream. No to the body, we're not finding it. Sky News 3 hours ago says Iran launched attack against Israel. Telegram Travis. Oh, it's right. Okay, so let me pin this. So Debbie Dubes, a lot of information I get from about Ukraine is from Telegram channels. Now this is how it works. So I don't know if you know this or not, but I know this firsthand, and I can give you, well, I'm not going to, but I could give you lots of people's names. For example, use the Ukraine scenario. If something happens on the front line in Ukraine, or anywhere for that matter, and the BBC, for example, or whoever are reporting on it, what happens is that reporter will be there on the front line. They will be standing next to a military press officer, and that military press officer will be telling them what's happening. So although you think that like a reporter is right there on the front line, they're not. They're all stood like really close to each other, but just with different backgrounds behind them, because like Sky News might be facing that way, and BBC News is facing that way, and they've got a car behind them, and then like another news outlet's facing that way down the street. But they're all literally really close to each other, and there will be a press officer with them. So I know this in Ukraine. And that press officer will, from the military, will come out and he will tell the press what's happening. So he will go in out and he'll say, hey, yeah, those explosions you're hearing over there, that's X, Y, and Z. And those mainstream media outlets, they will report on that. But when you think about it, that is coming from the Ukrainian military or whoever their advisor is telling them. So then they'll be saying things like, we've just had reports in that the Donetsk region of Ukraine has just suffered heavy bombardment by Russian glide munitions, and then the other guy. And that's how they're all in lockstep with what they're saying. Now, if they write a report or a story, that story, first of all, it's come from the military. It goes to the reporters. Then it goes back to an editor. That editor scans through it. Then it goes back to London to the main office, and then it gets printed, and then it gets the okay. Now that can take, it sounds like a long time, but that can take like maybe an hour, especially with like internet and videos and stuff. Now, the problem here is there's a lot of chains in there. There's a lot of chains in that communication that information can be corrupted. So if I do a video and tell you something that's literally just happened, it will get flagged as fake news. It will get flagged as misinformation. That's why it's important, guys, that we have to do subscribers only videos. User, will the US get involved? Yes. Right, user, unknown user, stop spamming me. Stop spamming me, unknown user. I've got your question, buddy. I will answer it. Will the US get involved in the Iran war? News says the US wants peace in the Middle East. Donald Trump will set you free. Bring in the light for all to see. Like, okay, right. Okay. My opinion, my speculation, my belief, my analysis is yes, the United States are going to get dragged into this conflict because in 2023, the 1st of November, the United States swizzled a law through that said the United States would take all action necessary to prevent Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon. They would also support any freedom of movement of any allies that want to stop Iran getting a nuclear weapon. And everything we've seen up to this, guys, hitherto, has been smoke and mirrors, pomp and circus. Don't listen to what people say. Talk is cheap, guys. The politicians don't know what they're saying. Like, do we really think David Lammy understands the words he's saying? Don't listen to what they're saying. Look where the money is. Look where they're putting their money. What are they spending? What's the government spending their money on? What's the government doing with their military assets? Go onto if you're in the United States, go onto like defense procurement websites. Look at those defense procurement websites. What are they buying? And it tells you exactly what's happening, guys. Okay. So yeah, I hope I answered that question. Right, I'm going to jump down, guys. There's loads of comments. Right. Okay. Telegraph and Sky News are both right. Telegraph. literally got nothing here. Oh, no. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, guys, I have got it now. I do apologise. So, yeah, I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen. Look, guys, I am sorry I have to go through this, like, rigmarole, but you guys know how many videos I get banned. You know how I've been banned on here before for saying things that I shouldn't. But. Right, who's spamming my live, guys? Who's spamming my live? Who's spamming me? Who's spamming me? Who is spamming me? Right, I don't think anyone. Right, I know there was somebody and he was spamming me, but he said sorry. It was unknown user. Right, guys, who's Lucas? Good vibes, Lucas. Right, where's Lucas? Right, where's Lucas? Where is Lucas? I'm looking for you. Lucas, your time is almost up. Lucas, I'm going to find you. Oh, hang on. Oh, wow. Lucas Benjamin, he's paying $5,000 to the first people who inbox me. Wow, okay, right. Lucas, I don't know what that means, brother, but I'm going to mute you for a bit. Please, come back soon. Right, I'm just muting him. Right, sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Right, listen, guys, breaking news. What did I say? Like, guys, look, all my videos are now public record. So go back when I said we could literally see the next escalation while we are on the live stream. And I can confirm the Telegraph is reporting Iran launches new attack on Israel. Iran has launched a new round of airstrikes against Israel, its state broadcaster has reported. It's so far unclear which areas it is targeting. It's bonkers, isn't it? Here we are, guys. Listen, this is another one. This is another one. If you want to know how everything is in lockstep, Iran claims to have thwarted attacks on gas field. Iran claims to have thwarted. I'm going to thwart you, I say I'm going to thwart your attack, and I will see your F-35s, and I will raise you. What the missiles called? I don't know what the missiles are called in Iran. And I will raise you an interballistic missile. Iran claims to have thwarted an attack by Israel on its southern Praz gas field, according to the Iranian news website. Israel previously struck the facility, which is the world's biggest gas field, on Saturday, forcing Tehran to partially suspend gas production. All conflicts, ladies and gentlemen, are over resources, whether we believe it or not. Right, Niall Phillips, 95. Raven, what's your thoughts on I-24 news being legit? Where did that go? About Trump giving the green light to attack Iran. Look, I don't think Trump needs to give anyone the green light, but any green light, so Niall Phillips, any green light for anyone to attack Iran was given on the 1st of November 2023. So it's already been given for like 2 years or something. Right, guys, there's a couple of comments over on, in fact, guys, listen, I'm going to come on to the YouTube comments in a minute because I'm going to start closing this one down in a minute. Right, guys, why didn't Iran sign up to the deal? Why didn't Iran sign the deal right, okay, so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy with Iran, isn't it? On one hand, you've got people saying to Iran, don't build nuclear weapons or we'll have to come and attack you. And then on the other hand, you've got Iran thinking, well, if we don't build nuclear weapons, you're going to attack us anyway. So, like, that's kind of just the absolute insanity. Yes, exactly. John saying all wars are over resources. Yes, they are. Googly saying US sending another aircraft carrier to the Middle East. Officials say, yeah. So remember what I just said, guys. Guys, listen. So remember what I just said about don't listen to what politicians are saying. Look what they are doing. So you've probably got all the politicians saying, yeah, we're not going to have a war. We are not going to have a war. We want peace, peace on the world. We want We want peace and flowers and, yeah, peace and flowers. No, yeah, move all the tanks. No, you're going to need your tanks really close. Get all the tanks moved in. Yeah, we will not be sending our troops to go and do any bad stuff. Yeah, all the Navy, send all the Navy now. Yeah, we just want peace. We just want peace in this region. We're going to have peace. Yeah, all the Air Force as well, mate. Yeah, get them all in. Get them all in. Yeah, no, don't worry about that. Just get them all in. Like, you see, look what they're doing, not what they're saying, because talk, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, is cheap. Right, guys, listen, I am going to close this down. The crux of the video, I guess the crux of the live stream changed. First of all, we were talking about the embassy in the United States had been hit. Then we changed because Iran has launched a new attack on Israel. Now that's going to reach in the next couple of, I'd say the next couple of hours. It depends what attacks they've launched. If this is ballistic missiles, it's going to take less time than drones, but I would say it's a mix. But anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to close TikTok down now. I'll be going over onto YouTube. I'll be answering the YouTube questions, guys. Listen, it's all gone bonkers. The summer of carnage is here. It does look like it's coming. And we are living through history, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're on and you haven't done so already, please, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, the follow, the subscribe buttons, all the channels that help me grow, because ultimately it's only you guys that help this channel grow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. In fact, I have that couple of seconds now where it's a little bit awkward when I'm trying to close the live and I don't actually know what I'm doing. But alas, I found the button. Guys, my YouTube is the same. It's the Real Raven 1. It's the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to be closing this down now, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10, I think. Hang on, I think I've got something on in the morning. No, it's Wednesday I won't be on. But I will be on tomorrow morning at 10, guys. Dobro noche. And we are off with the TikToks. The TikTok is off. Now, I've got your undivided attention now on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. We have got YouTube. Right, let me just click a few buttons on TikTok, on the Screeny McWeenie. Right. So guys, listen, it does look like that, it does look like the situation now, the Iranians have launched a new attack on Israel. Guys, look, I'm like, when you're looking at these two countries side by side comparison, I'm very biased. I'm very biased. I'm very biased towards light infantry, technology, special forces operations, and ground troops. I'm biased towards that's how you win a war. I've taken a step back and I've reconsidered this. And I've reconsidered this. And what I'm actually thinking now is, I don't know who takes it here. Obviously, if the US military get the Marines onto the south coast of Iran, it's all over for Iran. But I'm just thinking now, how many of those missiles do they have stockpiled? How quickly can they produce them? And how quickly can they overwhelm the Israeli air defense? Because, Israel's a very small country. And if the Iranians are launching more and more missile attacks, again, that's just going to make it more likely that the United States gets involved. So, I mean, it could be a scenario where Israel start a war, they start to lose, and then the United States has to come and bail them out. Yes, the United. Okay, right. Hang on. Let me jump up. Okay, Kenzie over on. If I don't need to say over on YouTube because I'm only on YouTube. Kenzie is saying. Oh, hang on. Right, hang on. I've got to choose a theme here. I've got to choose a theme, and I can choose Star Wars. Sorry, guys. Sorry. How rude of me. How rude of me. Yes, Kenzie, I can see lots and lots of scenarios where the United States closed the Strait of Hormuz. I absolutely can see that 1,000,000%. Now, if I was Iran, and I'm not, but if I was Iran, the reason I would close the Strait of Hormuz is if my gas or oil production capacity had been hit and I couldn't produce gas or oil, that would be a massive pull on my purse strings. What I would do is I would say, all right, tough guy, did you enjoy that? Yeah, all right, yeah, funny, weren't it? Yeah, that was funny. Okay, right. Anybody who wants to travel through the Strait of Hormuz, you have to pay me a hefty fee. And in that context, you know, you'd be able to start to get some of that money back. But right now, I do see that as a high likelihood. Witchy Lab is saying hi, hello. Jacqueline Butterworth just jumped over. Hello, thank you all guys for jumping over. Everyone get the drinks out, gonna be a long night. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna have a beer. Shall I have a beer? What time is it? What time is it? 9:30. Should I have a beer? Should I have a beer? Have I got a glass in here? Right, give me a second. If I've got a glass in here, I'm gonna have one. If I've not, I'm not. No, I haven't. I do not have a glass, so I'm not going to be a Philistine and drink out the bottle. I'm just gonna say tomorrow I will make sure I've got a glass in here. So yeah, I do see the Strait of Hormuz being closed, and Kenzie's saying get the drinks out. So I think that maybe the high likelihood we all just get drunk. Tracy Leyland is saying we are just going through what the US went through from 2020 till Trump got in. Now it's our 4 years. It is bonkers, isn't it, Tracy, what's happening in the UK? I genuinely can't believe how the United Kingdom has just... I mean, we live in a small village. It's not small. In an average-sized village. You know, there's like, there's a little shop, there's a post office, there's a bakery, and that's pretty much it in like the village. If you drive, there's a couple of corner shops and stuff. I never thought I'd see the changes so quickly that I've seen now. It's terrifying how quick things are changing, and I'm not scared. It's not the change. It's the negative change. Sorry, I want to emphasize that it's the negative change. John Anderson, has the US have a personnel that have been killed? So John Anderson saying, has somebody from the United States been transcended to a beam of light? I've not heard anything. I've been trolling the internet. If it has, it's gone behind my behind my radar. Lisa Jane is saying, how long have they been stockpiling for? I would say the Iranians have been stockpiling since 2023. Since 2003. I'd say they've been stockpiling since 2003. But you know, it's these. What happens in a conflict is most people will try and get all their munitions off relatively quickly, and then there's nothing left in reserve. So I think we're going to see very, very intense exchanges for the next week or so. For the first week, I think those exchanges will die down. But you know what, guys? Who knows? Who knows? If the US goes to Iran, hang on. If the US goes to Iran, would Iran not call for support from its allies? Absolutely, Iran would call support from its allies. But look, guys, be under no illusion. The United States, the United States military is like, how would you would be like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Like the United States military, I'm quite confident the United States could fight off the rest of the world put together. And I'm not saying that as like somebody who's sucking up to the United States. I'm saying that as somebody who's looking at it objectively. They have all the aircraft, they have all the ships, They have all the submarines. They have all the nukes that work. They have the manpower, the best trained troops. And like, it doesn't go anywhere. So yes, they may call regional allies in, but I still think it's only going one way. Silly Galade is saying they don't have launchers. Who are we talking about there? Are we talking about the, right, okay, so, right, what we're talking about there is the, Silly Galade is saying the Iranians have a lot of missiles, but they don't have the launchers for those missiles, which again, something I didn't even consider. Thank you for letting me know that, Silly. Debbie Doobs. Kamal is ousted and Crown Prince reinstated. Will there be peace again? I think that's what they're going for. So they're trying to get the prince reinstated. I do think that's what's going to happen. Right. Okay. So Silly Galada here is saying that Israel took out 3/4 of their. We use the metric system here, Silly. We don't use imperial measurements here. We say 75%. But no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So the Israelis have taken out the launchers again, guys. Look, in combat, it's not the things that you think are important that are important. So if you're doing the comparison, like Silly's just said, the Israelis, one of their prime targets will have been the launchers, where these rockets, in fact, I've got one somewhere. Not a rocket launcher for like model rockets. Anyway, so the Israelis have taken out these rockets, which would massively hinder the Iranian capacity. Sorry, the Iranian capacity to strike back. And again, I've got to be objective. I would speculate a good proportion of these are in deep underground military bases where they open the top and these things come out. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Is the UK is a real mess compared with how it was when I was a young girl. Lisa Jane, you are 100% right. You're 100% right. Right. I like apple pie is saying, I like apple pie, and do you know what? I like apple pie as well. I like it with vanilla ice cream. Do you think if the US joins the Iran conflict, then China will look to move on Taiwan? Absolutely. That's what I would speculate that's what they've been waiting for. Everybody knows the game is over. Yeah, so I would say that's what they're waiting for. If they're going to make a move, they will make a move when the US Navy is tied up in the Mediterranean, in that conflict. That's what I would say is the Chinese are waiting for. But again, they may just sit it out. They may just sit it out and let the Russians, the Americans, the Europeans, the Iranians, the Middle East, let everyone destroy themselves. And then China's like, yeah, we're world powers now. We're in charge. Right, Tracy Layard is saying, what's your prediction on the Manchester boys court case coming soon? So Tracy Layard there's talking about, the two gentlemen who had fisticuffs in Manchester Airport. In fact, let's find it. Let's find it. Where are we? In fact, I'm just looking. I'm just trying to see if I can find this video. Is this it? Right. This is not the video. This is not the video, but I'll share it. So let me take that down, and then I will share this screen with you. Fantastic. Guys. Right, so this is not it. Brothers deny assaulting police officers at Manchester Airport. Mohammed Famir Amaz and Mohammed Ahmad, 25, have denied assaulting police officers at Manchester Airport. And Manchester Airport in an incident that was filmed and widely shared online. Like, honestly, I don't know how and what their defense is going to be. The images I've seen is pretty much are pretty much cut and shut. So what, again, I think they're going to get a light sentence. I think what will happen is, okay, so let's just say that that somebody is wanting this Summer of Carnage to happen. Let's just say that they get into court, they plead guilty, they say, you know what, we change it as plea, we want to plead guilty. And the judge says, right, okay, well, you've been living in fear, you've been living with a lot of stress and anxiety for the last year. What we're going to do is, you know, you've got your good lads. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a suspended sentence. I really do see that as an option, guys. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the mood in the United Kingdom? And if you think that someone is guiding the United Kingdom into the Summer of Carnage, that would be a perfect way to do it. Yeah, and then do you know what? UK veterans are saying those videos must be AI then if they reckon they didn't assault the police. Yeah. Look, guys, and I'll throw credit where it's due. That young lad, that lad who's 20, the power he generates with his right hand is unbelievable. Like he's got a sock on him, guys. He has. Lisa Jane is saying, how did they deny that? How did they deny that? Yeah, Kenzie. Yeah. So Kenzie, that's what we're saying. We're saying that if China were going to make a move on Taiwan, they would do it when the US were tied up in that conflict. Oh, they're cage fighters. Lisa Jane says they are cage fighters. Are they really cage fighters? Because that guy looked very undisciplined. He looked really undisciplined. The way his posture was. When he's throwing his punch, he's really off balance. He's generating a ton of power, but he's really off balance. So if he misses, he's going to put himself on the floor. So I don't know if they are cage fighters. Okay, 100% they're cage fighters. All right, okay. Well, they're not very good ones anyway. Right, okay, well, if they're cage fighters, they're cage fighters. I'm a cage fighter. Oh, whatever. Do you know what? Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Right, Priv Carol, guys, I'm going to answer this last question, okay? Where do you think the next place for any conflict to hit the ground would be now? Yeah, so it does look like the Middle East's going, well, okay, so realistically, I think, your three main options are mainland UK, but yeah, trust me, mainland UK, Pakistan, India, or China, Taiwan. I would want to say Pakistan, India. I'm going to go Pakistan, India, guys. I'm going to go Pakistan, India. Debbie Doobs, no, I don't see the Falklands yet. I think the Falklands would be. After the United Kingdom are overtly involved in this conflict in Ukraine. Right, guys, listen. Oh, do you see Israel attacking America and blaming? Oh, controversial question there, Kenzie. Do you see Israel attacking America and blaming Iran, forcing them in? I wouldn't be able to answer that. If it was a false flag, it would be a false flag. And we're not going to know about that until years after that. But I would say a false flag to bring another country into a conflict is a tried and tested tactic that's happened since like the dawn of time, I guess. The UK veterans thinks the Falklands in 5 to 10 years' time. Yeah, I do think it's going to happen soon. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this one down now. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for being with me tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10, I hope. I'll see you guys later. Oh, I forgot how to close this down now. No, that one.